What is going on? What is going on? We are back. Happy Tuesday. What's going on, Jacob? Jacob in the chat. Oh, you have a Touareg? Oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, we're going over the Gen 1. As you can see, the Gen 1 Touareg is very capable off-road. That is the reason why people still get them today. Because if it wasn't capable off-road, no one would get these. They are pretty much hoopties at this point. A lot of them. It's really hard to find one in good condition. But I'll do my best today when we look at the ads. But as we can see, this guy's getting it. Keeps getting stuck though. But that's the nature of off-roading. Sometimes you get stuck. But as you can see, the Touareg is out here with these Monteros. What is this, a Land Cruiser or a Prado or something? Very, very capable vehicles. And a lot of people actually don't know that. But we'll get into all that in a second. See? Everyone's getting stuck here. Touareg's doing better than this guy. Oh, I spoke too soon. Alright, I'll just move on from this video because they just seem to be getting stuck a lot. We got another one. This is a V6, so even the V6 is pretty capable. You'll see it attacking this steep grade here. Shout out to the people in the chat. What is going on? What is going on? Have you guys ever done any off-roading? That's a good question. You can see. Shout out to the Russians, and they seem to like the Touareg a lot. A lot of these videos are Russian Touaregs. You can tell by the plates. Not as dramatic. We can see. Okay, here we have a V10 TDI versus a Duramax. Let's see which one wins. So it's the V10 diesel.
It's fine. You know your redneck wins. See, we have transplanted you to redneck. They're probably excited.
All right, let's see. Let's see.
It's okay. Yeah, are you ready?
Hey, shout out to you, Jacob. Thank you for the donation. You are going to be entered in twice to win.
Can you see
for 50
me?
bucks when I do a drawing again.
3.
Oh, wow. So as you can see, the V10 Touareg has a ton of torque, and that all-wheel drive system is just superior to this. I guess you don't have much weight on the back of this truck, and I'm not sure if it was a rear-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive truck, but as you saw, this Touareg was easily pulling it. No wheel spin, nothing. Here's another one. Another, let's turn off this music. It's just really annoying. We'll make it low. But as you can see, more Russian Touaregs here doing some off-roading. This one is with the Mitsubishi L200. Yep. Yeah, I was going to pull up that video in a second, actually. We'll pull up that video just because it's pretty impressive. As you can see, a lot of, you know, fording through water and stuff. This truck is very capable. You just need a deep pocket to be able to keep up with the maintenance. Yeah, the Russians are a different breed, man. Respect. Alright, we got another one here. What country are these people from? Hold on. S? Maybe Slovakia? I don't know what S means. I couldn't even read that. But I know right here is in German.
Mit Gummistiefeln kann ich das Gas nicht dosieren.
Yeah, it seems like you guys go harder with the Touaregs in Europe than we do in America, just based on the videos. But yeah, after this, I'll pull up that video of the 747. Shout out to Jacob and Claro in the chat. What is going on, yo? What is going on? Yeah, I was just looking for these cool shots. Hopefully they don't copyright the music this time. That happened to me on my Rolls Royce video. Pissed me off. You guys are really gonna copyright my music and take away my 50 cents that I make from the video? That's wild. Yep, and there's his cousin, the Cayenne. Long lost cousin. Raised in a different household, but still related. Or might even be brother and sister, raised in different households, still related. They're closer than cousins. But yeah, enough of this dramatic stuff. Let's let's see. Touareg. It's so hard to spell this word. Touareg. 747. All right. Oh wow, they're definitely gonna copyright me.
So there we have it. The only thing we've had to do is double the tire pressure.
1000, nothing.
And could tow a lot, but we'll get into all that. What is going on, y'all? On Warren Cars, back again with another car buyer's guide. Today, as you can see, we're doing the Gen 1, the first generation of the Volkswagen Touareg. I actually forgot to bring up the picture for the paint for the paint section, so we'll get to that in a second. Let's see. Gen 1. Sorry, I'm just bringing up a Google picture, that way you can... There we go. Cool. All right, which is a good picture to use for paint. This one looks pretty cool. Copy image. We'll open that up real quick because I completely forgot to do that. Resize, make this, what, 40? Yeah, perfect. Cool. I'm getting pretty good at guessing those numbers. Anyway, before we get into all that, some quick announcements. If you haven't joined the Discord already, hit that button in the description. It's that link. Allows you to join the Discord. We have a bunch of stuff going on here. Shout out to Claro for managing my Discord. He's doing a really good job so far, making everything look really clean. I'm not the biggest Discord guy, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but he is helping me out here, making it look a lot more organized. And so yeah, if you want to join the Discord, hit that link in the description. I do giveaways for $50 or more, depending on who donates. I have to actually start writing this down because I don't want to actually lose track. So we have Claro with $1, and now we have Jacob Black with $1. So you guys have extra spots on the raffle, basically. So I will write your name in twice. For every dollar that's donated, you get an extra spot to win 50 bucks. And so I pick the winners from this list right here. And it's just something, you know, incentive to join the Discord and participate in the shows. And yeah, shout out to Jacob Black for being the person who is always commenting in the shows. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, if you haven't joined the Discord, hit that. If you haven't liked the video right now. It takes a couple seconds. Just hit it real quick. I'll give you 2 seconds. All right, and then subscribe if you haven't. 82% of y'all who watch these videos aren't subscribed, so hit that subscribe button. It makes the videos be able to reach more people, obviously. And yeah, let's get into the first generation Volkswagen Touareg. And I have to give a quick shout out to my good friend Ahmed and his Volkswagen Touareg. I want to say, let's see, hold on. I was gonna show a picture of it, but it doesn't really matter. He has one of the nicest Touaregs I've ever seen. It's probably one of the nicest Gen 1 Touaregs in existence right now. He spent so much money on it, and it's just so nice. It's on par with like a Bentley in terms of the interior quality and just the way it's set up. And we'll talk all about that in a second. But yeah, so Volkswagen Touareg, let's bring up the features, options, and problems. Got it right here. This car was sold all over the world, which makes it kind of confusing because not only are the engines different globally, but the specs are different as well in terms of the packages and the trims. So I'm going to do my best to consolidate the United States versions because that's the only ones we're going to be able to look at online in terms of the ads. So we'll get into it. So what we're going to be looking at is vehicles from 2004 to 2010. There was a facelift in 2008, so this was split into the T1 and the T2. The T1 is going to be your 2004 to 2007. T2 is 2008 to 2010. And hold on real quick, Jacob. Yeah, it is the nicest Touareg. He spent almost $40,000 just on repairs and stuff. He brought it back from the dead. It has almost 200,000, or I don't know if it's almost 200 or over 200, but it has a ton of miles. But the thing looks brand new. Everything is so clean. He's so meticulous with that car, and taking it off-roading, it's just a great car. He really sold me on it, because before, like, I wouldn't even pay attention to the Touareg, but after seeing his, I'm like, wow, this thing is like, is high quality. This is like an upper, this is like this is not a Volkswagen. I'll put it that way. It is not a Volkswagen when compared to everything else that came out in the time. It was like a step above in terms of luxury and quality. So in terms of engines, there are a ton of engines to look for with the Touareg in the United States market. You have the 3.2 liter VR6, which had 217 horsepower. They didn't even tell me the torque. I'm sure it's not that much, or probably somewhere around the 217 mark. Then you had the 3.6 liter VR6, which replaced the 3.2 in around 2007. And that had 276 horsepower and 266 pound-feet of torque. A lot better engine, especially because these cars were meant to go off-road. And yeah, the 3.2 is just not powerful enough. It was overstrained. The gas mileage, the fuel economy wasn't even good, because the car is a big car, it's a heavy car. And yeah, when you stress out a little engine like that, you're not really getting the fuel efficiency that you think you're going to get. You also have the 4.2 liter V8. This is really going to be the most popular option. It makes 345 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque, so a pretty stout engine. Then you have the 3 liter V6 TDI, making 237 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. These are diesel, so they're obviously going to make a ton of torque. And then finally, you have the 5 liter V10 TDI, making 309 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. This was the example that you saw pulling the Boeing 747, and also the example you saw pulling that Duramax in the tug of war. These V10 TDIs are nothing to scoff at. They are amazing cars in terms of the performance. Reliability is another thing, but these cars just surprise everybody. They're so cool. They're really rare in America, but when you do see one, usually it's owned by an enthusiast. They're built out. They have, a big off-road kit, or they're more designed for like the street, but usually they're all customized. They're amazing vehicles. If you can find the parts for them and find someone to work on it for you if you don't know how to work on it yourself. They all came with 6-speed automatics. And so what the Touareg was first of all, it was VW's first SUV, and it was a joint venture between Porsche and VW. It's also Porsche's first SUV. They were built in separate locations. However, the Volkswagen was built in Bratislava, Slovakia, and the Porsche was built in Leipzig, Germany. So different plants. Fun fact, the Q7 is also based on this platform. It's just a stretched version of it, the Q7 from this era. So those 3 vehicles built on the same platform, designed as a joint venture between Porsche and VW. Due to exchange rates at the time, VW had to sell this as like an upmarket vehicle in the United States. And so all the trim levels and the engines were going to be more premium. Basically, the smallest engine available for the Touareg was going to be that VR6, a 3.2 liter, which was later upgraded to a 3.6, which is uncommon for VW at this time. You probably would have seen this car, especially in other markets in the world, have a smaller engine, usually probably diesel engines, because it is a SUV, so smaller diesel engines. But yeah, in America, these were very much on another level when compared to, like a Golf or a Passat or a Jetta, whatever other VWs that you would see on the road. This car was a step above in terms of quality. Jacob says, Bratislava, 60 miles away from my Vienna. Oh, wow, really? Slovakia is near... well, yeah, I guess so. That's pretty cool. I gotta go to Europe again, man. I haven't been to Europe in years. Last time I was in Europe, I went to Frankfurt, Germany. But yeah, I gotta go back. What else? Oh yeah, 4Motion is standard. So 4Motion is going to be VW's all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive system. Optional air suspension, optional locking rear differentials. It was said that there was even an optional locking front differentials, but I haven't seen it on any car. You do see the locking rear differentials sometimes, but not all the time. A very high quality machine. I had to write that because it really is. When you sit in one, you're like, wow, this actually is like super nice. When you think about it, it's not really that nice, but just every touch point in the car, the way it feels, just the suspension, The drivetrain is all very premium, and a lot of people don't understand that about this car. In 2003, it won the best luxury SUV, the best sport utility, and the best 4x4. And in 2004, it won the least green car of the year. And sorry, I was just reading the chat. Clara said, I went to the flight of Kuwait. Jacob said, hey, I had some spare time. I don't know what you mean by that, but if I did have some spare time, I would be in Europe. Facelift in 2008, as I mentioned before. The facelift being the T2 version of the first gen Touareg is almost a brand new car. It has 2,300 new parts with the addition of some extras. I'm talking ABS Plus, adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring. And they called this one the Touareg 2, and they called it the Touareg 2 until the second gen Touareg came out, and they just called that the Touareg. And so you have the T1 and T2. And the Touareg was meant to compete with the XC90, the Volvo XC90, the Land Rover Discovery, or LR3, I believe. That's what the LR3, that's the Land Rover Discovery that was out at the time, and also the Mercedes ML. Cool. Yeah. All right, let's get on to the problems. That is something we have to address. This list is not exhaustive by any means. The one thing people, the only thing that's is the only thing. These cars are super unreliable. That's how it is. That's the bottom line. It's really unfortunate. And what's even more unfortunate is because these cars are like mid to early 2000 model cars, a lot of the parts are super rare and expensive right now. For example, it's super hard to find headlights for these. The bi-xenon headlights, super hard to find. Ahmed, my friend, he was lucky enough to find some. This guy, I think he had some sitting around that were just there, and they happened to be in the shop, and he bought like 2 of the same one, I think. I don't know what he did, but he has so many extra parts for this car because he knows that they're going to be rare and really sought after in like a couple years when people really can't find them anymore. I know there's also like this line that goes behind the engine that usually requires an engine out job to do. It's like an oil line. It goes behind the engine, or a coolant line, something like that. He bought like 2 or 3 of them to keep as extras. It's hilarious because they don't produce them anymore. And so, yeah, a lot of parts like that, or a lot of parts can be found on this car like that. They're not produced anymore. They're pretty rare, and they're going to get really expensive. That's why these cars, you'll see a lot of them just sitting in junkyards, because you really can't afford to fix them unless you have deep pockets. And yeah, shout out to Ahmed for making his literally the nicest one I've ever seen. So the problems. Let's get into the problems. Timing belt. So depends on what vehicle you have. Obviously, timing belt, timing chain. The V6s had timing chains. The V8s had timing belts. You want to make sure that these are both in check, and you want to make sure they've been serviced in their appropriate service intervals. Drive shaft carrier bearing. This is basically exactly what it sounds like. It makes noise after a while. That fails. Stepper motor on transfer case. So this obviously changes between the 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive. If you don't, this is just a tip for everyone who has a car with a transfer case. Switch between 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive and go high, low, just to cycle through everything, because it can get stuck in whatever it's sitting in. The front diff failure, this is due to low fluid. If you add fluid, this mitigates that, but it's still a problem sometimes. Flaps inside the intake brake. So on the intakes on these cars, there's flaps that control the amount of air that go into the intake. These can break. I believe this was also the case with the Audi V10, the S6 with the V10. The air suspension inlets on the struts. Okay, first of all, I want to say this. The air suspension on these vehicles are actually pretty reliable compared to other air suspensions from the mid-2000s. I'm talking ABC. I'm talking, what else? I don't know, other air suspensions, all unreliable. This one is actually one of the more reliable air suspension systems. However, the inlets on the struts can break off if you live in a corrosive area. So if you live somewhere where they salt the roads, you want to make sure that your air suspension inlets aren't too corroded, because they can just break off, and then that ruins the entire strut. Clara says, it sounds like he has deep pockets. He does. $30,000 to $40,000. I don't know. When he told me that number, I was like, whoa, like that's, I've never spent that much on a car, like an aftermarket or repairs. That's insane. Let's see, where was I at? Peeling soft touch interior pieces. This is one of the biggest issues. So if you're familiar with anything, like I know this is a big issue. I mean, you probably aren't, personally familiar, but you've heard of it. The soft touch material on Ferraris is a big thing. So basically all the plastic is covered with the soft touch material to make it more pleasant to use, when it's new. But after a while sitting in the sun, just baking like that, the soft touch becomes sticky, and then you can basically that stickiness transfers off your fingers onto other parts of the car. It becomes really messy. It becomes a problem. So you want to make sure that you address the sticky button issue. Ahmed, what he did was he replaced every single panel that was sticky with a plastic one. They have aftermarket ones that don't have the sticky button stuff on at all, but they look OEM. And he replaced them with those, and they look pretty clean, does the job, and that's what you should do if you're having the soft touch issues. You also have random electrical issues. I'm talking about the gauge cluster going out, your nav screen not working, lights going out, random check engine lights. This stuff can happen with this car. It's a really complicated system. And yeah, they also made the R model. It's so hard to find the R model. I just didn't include it, but we can talk about it in a second. You also have transmission valve bodies that go bad. So on the 6-speed automatic found in this, the 6-speed automatic transmission, the valve bodies can go bad. This means you won't be able to shift right, or it gets stuck in gear. Thermostat housing leak. So basically it leaks coolant around the thermostat housing. This is a problem. You just have to basically get a new housing or reseal it, or your thermostat might have a seal issue as well. Lots of problems with the thermostat housing. Fuel system failure. A lot of issues with the fuel pumps with these cars, no matter what engine you get. Diesel, gas, V6, V8, V10, fuel pump issues are prevalent. What else? I already said that. And then everything that can go wrong will go wrong on these cars. So I'm talking random leaks. I'm talking about, yeah, leaks basically. Everything leaks. Electrical problems, suspension issues. This is a big, heavy machine. So you're really going to have all sorts of problems. And I'm going to warn you guys right now, a lot of the vehicles that you find online are going to be hoopties. They're going to be really in bad condition. I try to find some of the better conditioned vehicles. However, a lot of the Touaregs are just really beat up. I think what happened is a lot of people purchased them as Volkswagens, like Volkswagens, when technically these are Porsches. That's how you should think of it in terms of maintenance and part cost and whatnot. And a lot of people just couldn't afford to fix these cars and ended up dumping them. And so you see a lot of them that have been dumped and they're really neglected. Stay away from those. You want to find the nicest one possible, simply because you know you're going to run into some problems eventually. Yeah, and then let's see. They also made an R model. Yeah, let's look at the R model real quick. Let's just bring it up on Wikipedia. So the R model had the V10 TDI, but it was more streetable. That's what it looked like. I'm trying to figure out, like, I can't really remember if they had them in the States because I never ever see them. I've never seen an R model in the United States, so I don't think they even produced them here. But yeah, looks nice. It looks like a what, like streetable? A modern American woman is streetable? Is that what you meant, like for the streets? That's kind of funny. I'm sorry, I'm just reading this. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it. I've only seen them in pictures, but they look pretty cool. V10 TDI, and you have the street version, so it's like lower. It has low profile tires. Oh, with how many problems yeah, exactly. No, this thing has so many problems, but if you can get it working right, it is a treat. It's basically like a Bentley almost, in terms of the quality, the ride quality, the interior quality. Is basically mid-2000s Bentley. And a lot of people don't understand that. But it also depends on what trim you get. You'll kind of have to get a V8 or more if you want to get the nicest amenities on the interior. But we'll go over all that in a second. And then Jacob says, well, why don't you go over to the next model, the 7P? Talking about this one right here. Why? Because the 7P isn't the same, man. The 7P is a better overall vehicle in terms of reliability and you know, packaging. It's better suited for its customers. The first generation, the 7L, was just something that came out of left field, and it was just a revolutionary vehicle for not only Volkswagen but Porsche, and that's why I think it's more special than the second gen. Even though the second gen, they sold way more of them, but they didn't offer the V8, they didn't offer the V10, they didn't offer the W12. I didn't mention that, but in other markets, in the European market, Asian market, they also had the W12. So that was a 6-liter W12 making 450 horsepower and 500 something pound-feet of torque. Insane. So yeah, what was I saying? Let's get back to it. Options. So this is the fun part. Let's get on to the options. Tons of options for these cars. And then I got the brochures as well, so we can take a look at what I'm talking about. So let's get this over here. Does it fit? Oh, perfect. Oh, of course you don't want to. Bro, what is going on? This happens every time. I think I just have to hit the escape button. Oh, no, that doesn't work either. You know what? Let me try this one last time. This happens every single time, and I don't know what. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, cool. So these are going to be your options in terms of how you're going to spec your Touareg. We have the color. You have the interior leather. You have anthracite, teak, gray, and beige. And interior trim, you have walnut, myrtle, and Vivona. We'll look at all these examples specifically just after I read through this. Wheels. And then you have your individual options. These are going to be your nav system, your bi-xenon headlights, your 4-zone climate control for the V8 and up. You have TPMS, OnStar, rear locking diffs, 4-corner air suspension. And then for the packages, these are going to be your T1 packages. For the T2, they dropped these package 1, package 2s, and they kind of just gave them regular packages. We'll read off exactly what the regular packages are. But the package 1 and package 2s, I kind of wrote in here just to give you a good example of what we're looking for in terms of the T1 car. So 2004 to 2007. For the V6 packages, we have the package 1. This has the 11-speaker surround system 1 with the 300-watt amp. You have also bi-xenon headlights. Package 2 has cricket leather trim seating surfaces. We'll look at that in a second as well. 12-way adjustable front seats plus memory front seat, or memory for the seats and the mirrors. Front center armrest with dual storage compartments, walnut trim, manual sunshades, and a front sliding armrest. Package 3 just combines 1 and 2. Package 4 includes package 2. And also includes an 11-speaker surround system 2, which has 375 watts as opposed to 300 watt system or sound system 1. It also comes with nav, electronic parking assist, and the 6-disc CD changer. And then package 5 includes package 4. So you have package 2, you have the upgraded sound system, you have 6-disc CD changer, parking assist, nav, plus the rear locking diff and air suspension. For the V8 packages, for the T1, you have package 1, which has the 11-speaker surround sound system. This should be 1. Hold on. Yeah, this should be 1. This should be the 300-watt, not 2. So package 1 comes with the 300-watt surround sound system, bi-xenon headlights, keyless access, memory 2, which is a passenger seat, steering column, belts, not bets, and a power adjustable steering column and power height adjustable seat belts. So this all comes with package 1. Package 2 includes package 1's upgrade sound system to 2, nav, 6-disc CD changer. Package 3 includes package 2, air suspension, silver roof rack, Napa leather trim, seating surfaces, myrtle or Vivona trim. You don't have the walnut for package 3. Package 4 includes package 3 plus rear locking diff and electronic parking assistance. Package 4 includes 4-zone climate control, TPMS, heated steering wheel, heated rear seat ski rack, and then you have the winter package, which has a heated steering wheel, heated rear seat ski rack. And then for the packages for the T2, you have the VR6, you have the TDI package, you have the luxury package, the technology package, the premium technology package, and you have the Lux Limited package, also known as the R-Line package, which is kind of like a sporty model. So in terms of the packages, let's take a look at the brochures. Let's see where they go. Okay, cool. So this is going to be the first model year or the first T1 brochure. So these are going to be the colors that you can get for your T1. You can get black, Colorado red, off-road gray, shadow blue, Campanella white, reed green, reflex silver, Venetian green, blue silver, and wheat beige. And then these are going to be your interior leather colors. I've mentioned before, anthracite, teak, gray, and beige. And then you have Vivona, myrtle, and walnut. And then in terms of your individual options, we went over that here. But these are going to be your packages. So not really too much going on here. I'm trying to see, did they show the wheel options for this one? No, it's going to be the next one. So this is going to be a 2009 one. Let's refresh this because they don't like to keep loaded. We can see they added the sienna leather. And then they have now with the 2009, so this is going to be the T2 they offered. Now they have different types of leather. They have VTEX as well, which is going to be a faux leather. And these are going to be the colors, some not as many colors in terms of the range. You have black, uni, Campanella white, Galapagos gray, white gold, cranberry, reflex silver, Alaska gray. This is going to be for 2009. In 2010, they added some extra stuff as well. But as you can see, in 2009, they didn't even label the packages. They only have 2 packages, VR6 FSI and then V8 FSI. So that's kind of confusing when you move on to the 2010s. So for the 2010 model year, which is the last model year for the T2, they actually brought back some sort of package, some type of package deal. Let's see if I can find it here. Well, actually, real quick, these are going to be your wheel options. So you have the Makalu wheels, you have the Terra wheels, you have the Carthorn wheels, Cartham wheels, and then you have the Namib wheels. I don't know why they're named like this. Very strange names for wheels. But I'm looking for the packages. Where's that? Oh, here we go. All right, cool. So the VR6 FSI is just going to be your standard base level package. This includes a 3.6 liter, 280 horsepower VR6 engine, 17-inch Makalu wheels. Let's see, a VTEX leatherette, so you don't really want that. Walnut wood leather, multifunction steering wheel, power sunroof, power liftgate, front and rear floor mats, blah, blah, blah. Park distance control, silver roof rust, privacy glass, ABS plus, whatever. TDI includes everything that was in the VR6 FSI, but TDI. Then you have the luxury package. This includes a 19-inch Terra alloy wheels, cricket leather seating surfaces, comfort front seats via Vivona wood interior trim, 12-way power passenger seat, center console wood trim with sliding armrest, heatable steering wheel. Then you have the technology package, which includes navs and entertainment system, the RNS 510 with MDI and a multifunction color display. So this is going to be your bigger nav screen. Bigger information screen in your gauge cluster. What else? It comes with the 11 speaker system. It doesn't say how many amps or how many watts, excuse me. Bi-xenon headlights. Then you have the premium technology package, includes all the technology package plus dynamic sound system. So I guess, or Dynaudio sound system. So this is going to be your upgraded sound system. This one sounds pretty good. If you know, Dynaudio is a pretty good sound system. And then finally you have the Lux limited package. This includes 20-inch mountain alloy wheels, cricket leather seating surfaces, Saint Tropez. How do you say that? Saint Tropez? I don't know. Latte Macchiato or Saint Tropez anthracite seating surfaces, sport style front and rear bumper sills, 12-way power front seats, heatable steering wheel, sliding armrest, interior trim, poplar wood, engine, spin, chrome tailpipes. This is going to be the same as the R-Line package for 2010. I'm not sure why they call it Lux Limited or R-Line. I've seen people call it both, but yeah, Lux Limited or R-Line. Then we can see this one only shows the VRF6. So this is the UK brochure. They go into a lot more detail with the UK brochure. Not sure why they skipped out on the information for the USA brochure. Do they really not think that we want to know that kind of stuff? I guess not. But as you can see, this is a 2006, so this is going to be a T1. But they include so much more. I mean, this is a European model, so I'm not sure if all these wheels were available for the US market, but we do have a ton of wheel options for the European market. Same thing with the interior colors. You also have a cloth. Trail cloth is what they call it. That's going to be your standard. I really don't see any with the trail cloth option, so just keep that in mind. And you have non-metallic, metallic, and pearl effect. Then you have your combinations. So you have cricket leather on comfort, on normal, Napa leather on comfort. Then you have trail cloth on normal. So a bunch of stuff I'm not going to get into. This is a British brochure, so it's not going to completely apply to what we're looking at here, but the engines are still kind of the same. They show the 5 liter, the 3 liter, 3.6. We don't have the 2.5 5-cylinder, unfortunately, in America. I think that would have been a really cool motor to have. 5 liter diesel, pretty good. And then we'll look at this final brochure. This is going to be 2008. So as you can see by the front end, this is a T2. I'm trying to see the packages. They don't like to list the packages. Optional equipment, we can see some of that here. No. Touareg individual equipment, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of individual stuff you can get. But again, this is a 2008. These are going to be your wheel options. 2008, we have the Suez, the Tangis, the Namib, and the Dakar alloy wheel. This is going to be on the R5 TDI only. Scrolling down to show the options again. Do they have the packages though? Nope. No packages here, unfortunately. So, I mean, as you can see, across the board, globally, a lot of different ways these cars came equipped. They came in many different markets, and therefore, lots of different options and packages, and even naming conventions for all the pieces that make up the Touareg. Cool. But I think that pretty much wraps it up in terms of the options. Let's get on to the ad section, the section everyone waits for. Sorry, I'm having a slow day. I mean, you guys noticed, but yeah, Man, RIP to the people on the Baltimore Bridge, man. Hold on, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna look at that. We're gonna take a look at that. Baltimore Bridge collapse. So take a look at this real quick. This is what happened in Baltimore this morning, and yeah, it was really weird because I woke up at like 5 in the morning and I saw this. But take a look, power goes out, power comes back on, power's about to go back out on the ship. Power goes back out. You can see full steam ahead, full coal. Truck just barely passes over. And then watch what happens. Yo, these cars barely made it. Apparently the ship called Mayday and they were able to, you know, stop traffic at the last possible second, but some people were still on the bridge. As you can see what happened here. This is a major bridge in Baltimore. It's the 695 bridge. It basically, this is the entrance to the whole port of Baltimore. The Baltimore harbor is, this is the only way in and out. And so they blocked it. I mean, not they blocked it, but the bridge blocked it. And now, yeah, I'm not sure what that's going to mean in terms of, you know, the implications that it have on the economy or, you know, just Baltimore in general. I'm not living in Baltimore anymore, so it doesn't affect me as much. But I know traffic is going to be horrible because now people can't take that. Let's see. Yeah, we can see. Yeah, insane. You can see this is the boat. It ran into the bridge. Is still there. And then, yeah, horrible situation. I really, you know, I'm thinking about those people that tragically lost their lives on this bridge this morning. So, RIP to them. And yeah, that's all I had to say. Anyway, Jacob said 7P with the 60K miles driving like a super S-Class. Hey man, if you like your 7P, more power to you, because a lot of people really don't like them when compared to the previous generation in terms of what the previous generation was. The 7P is going to be a lot more reliable, a lot better like put together in terms of, you know, there's actually some thought put behind it in terms of we want it to be a little simpler, and that's kind of how they made the vehicle. It's not, doesn't have the off-road capabilities that the 7L had, but the 7P is way better for what most people want to do, and that is exactly driving like a super S-Class, super smooth, and yeah, easy to use, easy to operate. Let's move on to the ads. So we have our first example here, a 2006. This one is going to be a Volkswagen Touareg 4.2 V8 with air and rear locker. So this is going to actually, hold on. I have to bring up these brochures because there are way too many packages for me to memorize this stuff. So I'm going to have this chilling over here. So as you can see, this is a 2006 V8 with the, sorry, just adjusting this stuff. 2006 V8 with air and rear lockers. So what package is that going to be? That's going to be at least a package 4. So we have to see on the inside whether or not it has rear climate control or not. But looking off the bat, this has 162,000 miles. They want $4,400 for it. You can tell just based on the lights alone and kind of the cosmetic nature of this car, it's not in the best condition, unfortunately. Scrolling through, you can see that, I mean, it's black. It doesn't look that bad, but you can see the wheels are pretty curved up. Interior is a nice spec though. We have the brown leather. So what's this leather called? This is going to be that teak leather. So very nice interior. We also have the upgraded gauge cluster. Because this is a V8, you get the full color screen in between. You can see here, he wasn't lying. It has the rear lockers and the air suspension. You can see that from this right here. You have the lockers as well as the air suspension dial right here. Very nice spec, however, the quality is not it. You can see right here the handles coming out for the driver's side. You know, just a lot of wear. You don't have the 4-zone climate control, so this is definitely a package 4 car, not a package 5. You can see, yeah, a lot of wear and tear in this car. This is one of those cars I'm talking about that's like a hoopty. Like, it looks nice on paper in terms of its spec. However, when you take a closer look, you'll see that this car is pretty much junk at this point. Like, There's so much stuff you're gonna have to fix on this car that it's not really worth doing it for this example. I say for me though, if I were willing to buy this car as a project, I'd be up to $2,000 for it. I think $2,000 is fair. Oh man, this is gonna be a long ad read. Moving on to our next example, we have another one with a teak interior. This is going to be a 2006, and it is another V8 car. 120,000 miles, 2 owners, runs and drives, excellent, sunroof, backup camera. This looks like what Ahmed has, except he has the Cayenne roof rails as well as some different wheels, but the same color. Let's see what the interior looks like. Well, first of all, the engine bay looks very clean for one of these. Okay, that's a good sign, kind of. It's a good start. Undercarriage, we have some corrosion on the front subframe, but you know, nothing too crazy. You can see it is a V8, so it's going to have these nicer gauges. What you'll find also on the V8 gauges is that it's crazy. Ahmed explained this to me, but I can't really remember. Basically, you see this glass, how it's blue. It is a very special I don't know if it's like borosilicate glass or cobalt glass or something, but it has this blue tint to it. And it's supposed to reduce the amount of reflections so you can have the best like vision to your gauges. Very overthought piece of equipment, piece of technology here. It's supposed to be like the clearest glass, like the least refractive glass there is. And it has this blue kind of reflectiveness to it, which looks really cool. But yeah, that comes on the V8 cars. The V6s have a slightly different gauge cluster. You'll see the center screen is going to be taller and narrower, and it's only in red. It's not going to be colored, but we'll get to that in a second. This one is a really nice interior spec. I love this brown, and it looks really clean in terms of condition. We can see it looks way better than the last one we looked at. The sticky button issue is starting to show itself right here. You can see it peeling a little bit. You can see this is where like people's nails like get hooked into the sticky stuff. It starts to be chipped away like this. But scrolling through, yeah, the condition of this car looks really, really nice compared to other ones we looked at, but it could just be very clean. 120,000 miles for this one. It's a V8. It doesn't have air suspension. It doesn't have the lockers, but it is a pretty good example in terms of, you know, how clean it is and the spec. I say for me, because this is a 120K mile car and they don't mention anything about what they've done in terms of maintenance history, I'd be willing to go up to $4,300 for this car. Cool. All right, moving on. Shout out to 3 people in here. I know this isn't the most interesting car, but you know, not most interesting on paper. This is something that you have to really be into cars to understand. But shout out to the people that are here and, you know, showing support to the channel. Shout out to you guys. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Again, 82% of y'all aren't subscribed, which is crazy. Like, I do this every day. If you're gonna keep coming back to the videos, at least subscribe. 43K. Did I say 43K? No, 4,300. 4,300. How much do these go for in Europe, Jacob? Moving on to our next example. We have a 2007. So this is going to be the last model year before the facelift. So, and it's a VR6, 3.6 liter, I believe, because it is a 2007. We can see the gauge cluster. This is going to be the lesser gauge cluster. You can see this red screen in the middle, and you don't see really that blue reflectiveness. Wait, do you? I don't really see it. You guys can correct me. Ahmed, if you're watching this, correct me or not. I tried to get some tips for you on this vehicle yesterday, but there's just way too much to talk about. You can see this one has the dark gray, like the charcoal colored leather. No air suspension here, but it is a, oh wait, this is a V6 too. Yeah, this is a pretty base level car. It is a 2007 though. 134,000 miles in this example, and as you can tell, just on the engine bay, the interior, you know, this was a daily driver. It also has an aftermarket head unit. You can see just a lot of grime and nastiness in this car. You'll see that a lot on these vehicles. They are daily drivers meant for families, you know. They get dirty with the kids and whatnot. This one isn't too bad. 134,000 miles for this VR6 model. Pretty much base. Not really anything. 4,000 is what they're asking. I'd say for me, I'd be willing to go up to maybe 3,300 for this one. 4,000 isn't too bad given the fact that it's clean and it's a VR6. It's going to be reliable, and it's a 2007 last model year before the T2, so about as good as it gets for the T1. You said 4,300 is too cheap. What are they in Europe, man? I mean, here, I'm telling you, they're junk over here. A lot of them are going to be in this price range unless you get a V10 or it's super, super nice with a big stack of maintenance records. You're not really going to be paying more than $6,000 for one. Moving on to our next example, we have another 2007. This one has a white interior, white with the, I don't know what wood that is. It looks like walnut. I think this is the walnut wood. You can see here, no air suspension. This is a V6. You're not going to have anything really that fancy. Red screen in the middle as well. On the outside, we can see very basic. We got the 5-spoke wheels, no roof racks or anything like that. No rear climate control either. Just very basic. This is something that you want if you want the least amount of problems with the Touareg. But if you're going to get a Touareg, you know, they're all going to have problems. You might as well get a V8 or something. These V6s, they're too slow. They, yeah, they're just overstrained for the weight of the car. In fact, I didn't even tell you guys how much this car weighs. So let me figure that out real quick because I forgot to actually write it down. This car, it weighs, wow, it doesn't say here. Okay. Well, we have to Google that. I thought it would say that in my sheet. Let's see, VW20TOUAREG. 4,700 pounds. So not a light vehicle at all. And so when you have a 3.6 liter naturally aspirated VR6, you really are putting strain on the engine. That's not really necessary. Get the V8. Do yourself a favor. You can see gauge is looking crusty. Oh man, sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, looking at the interior, I mean, it's clean. You don't really see much of the sticky button issue here. It doesn't look like it's very worn. It looks like it's actually been taken care of pretty decently, especially for having 134,000 miles. Without any maintenance records, though, I don't know why none of these people actually include anything about maintenance. It's pretty sad, actually, because you guys want to sell the car, right? Like, I guess if they just knew, you know, I could give them some advice to sell some cars, man. But, yeah, this one, it's a nicer condition one, 134,000 miles, 2007. I'd be willing to go up to maybe $4,800 for this one, simply because it's in really good condition. It's clean, but it is a V6 and it does have 134,000 miles. Moving on to our next example, we have a 2008. This is going to be a Touareg 2 TDI, so it has a VR6 3.0 liter turbo diesel. We can see on the interior, it does have a big screen because this is a T2 car. It has a bigger screen. We can see it also has this cool blue glass. This one also has air suspension, which is pretty cool. Let's see what he has to say on it. 2008 VW Touareg V10 TDI. Oh, this is a V10 TDI. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that. Wow. Okay. Let's restart this ad. So, wow. I don't know why they have this terrible picture. Let's move on to our next ad. We have a 2008. This is going to be a V10 TDI version of the car. One of the most sought after versions. We can see it has the TDI front grille. It's going to be all in silver. Looking at the headlights, though, they look a little worn. Those need to be buffed out. What else can we see on this car? Yeah, I mean, it's a T2, so you're going to have the upgraded screen in the middle. This is going to be a 2008. And see, it has the air suspension. And does it have the diff locks? Yep, it has diff locks. Let's see what they have to say about it. V10 TDI, 180 on the clock. This vehicle has so many upgrades. It has a DPF EGR delete, so it's fully deleted diesel car. Dark Side UK Malone Stage 2 tuned. Both turbo and actuators are rebuilt. New AC compressor, new alternator, both diesel pumps are rebuilt. Upgrade camshaft and lifters, new glow plugs, harness. 1 year ago, I dropped the engine and went through everything. This vehicle runs and drives with no mechanical issues. There's no other V10 out there like this one. I believe him. A lot of the V10s, they're going to be really running bad, or they're super customized and super expensive. This one is kind of in the middle. Service done every 5K, liquid moly, new headliner, 5K on the tires. Interior is very, very clean. We can see it's fully loaded. I mean, it's a V10 TDI. It should come with pretty much every option. See that going on right here, the V10 TDI. You need to clean up these lights, man. They look pretty bad. Exterior has some blemishes. I mean, it has 180,000 miles on the clock, so it's not going to be a perfect car. However, if it has been deleted and everything, it should run way better than a stock version of the vehicle. So I do think that this would be a good option to get if you wanted one of these. Interior is going to be all beige. Let's see what, yep, you can see all beige with the dark brown dash. That's how the beige interiors come, two-tone. But really not a bad deal right here. 12 grand, they're asking for 180 grand. That's kind of where these sit at in terms of price. The V10 TDIs, super, super desirable. You'll thank the 5th gear episode with the 747 for that. A lot of people want these over the regular ones. In fact, a lot of people only think about these when they think of a Gen 1 Touareg. So these are always going to be super desirable. 12 grand, 180,000 miles. That's not too far off at all. I say for me, I'd offer him 10 grand, see where he's at. One owner vehicle. So again, this is a key thing with one owner vehicles. If it is a one owner vehicle, it means that he's trying to get rid of it. He's had it for 180,000 miles. He's had it for since it was new, basically 2008. It is 2024. He's had it for 16 years, 180,000 miles. He's done everything he can possibly do to it. He wants to get rid of it. At this point, this is where you can make a deal. 10 grand. If you could get this vehicle for 10 grand, that would be a steal. The V10 TDIs, granted, they are hard to work on. If you can find someone who works on them and knows them very well, these are great machines. Moving on to our next example, we have a 2008. There's going to be a Touareg 2. Again, you can see it's on some off-road tires. It also has a roof rack as well. Let's see what he has to say. It doesn't even say what engine this truck has. Scrolling around, this one has the V8. Wait, hold on. No, that the V. Okay, yeah. So this has a V8, 2008 with the V8 TFSI, Touareg 2 with the V8 FSI. I was confused for a second because for a second I thought the V8 was discontinued after the Touareg 2. However, it has a V8 right here. So we can see off-road tires. Does it say anything at all? Clean title? Nope, nothing, no information. Looking at the interior, we do have that beige interior. No air suspension though, but you know, that's fine. The coil springs are really good on this car too. The air suspension just adds an extra level of failure. Even though I mentioned that the air suspension isn't really that bad in terms of reliability, it's still something that can go wrong, and it's pretty expensive to, you know, get parts. All these parts are going to be expensive. That's something you have to remember for the Touareg. But as you can see, no lockers, nothing special going on here. This is basically a V8 base car. Doesn't even have the nav system. Just has a really cool lift. 8,500 bucks, 104,000 miles. Granted, this is a pretty base vehicle, so I wouldn't say that it's worth 8,500 bucks. And it also has a lift on it and some aftermarket parts. Unless they have the original wheels, I wouldn't want to pay anywhere close to that either. For me, being that this is a really base vehicle, it doesn't even have the locks, it doesn't have the air suspension, it doesn't even have nav. I'd be willing to go up to $6,500 for this one. Cool. All right. Moving on to our next one. I forgot to reset all these pictures. Move on to our next ad. We have another 2008. This is going to be another Touareg 2. We have this one in silver. Do they say what engine it has? Nope. Of course not. Scrolling through. Let's see what it says on the back. You can see V6. So this is going to be a V6. Anything on the interior? Nope. I mean, air suspension. Nada. No lockers. Does it have nav at least? No nav either. So this is definitely going to be a base model V6 car. You can see it also has the red screen in the middle because it is a V6. Not really much going on here in terms of options. 130,000 miles. They want 5 grand for it. Yep, that's probably about right, honestly. 130,000 miles, 5 grand is a good starting price. For me though, I'd be probably go down to around $4,200. And you're looking at this one. Yeah, I mean, this one was pretty clean. To be honest, it was pretty clean. It's just a base model, you know, so you know, if I were to get a V8, I'd have to at least get the at least get nav, man. At least get nav, and then at least get the air suspension. Granted, I mean, Ahmed has nav and no air suspension. That one is really nice, so you could also go that route as well. However, in terms of price, yeah, base ones are definitely not going to be worth as much. Moving on to our final example. This is a 2010 model, the last model year for the Touareg. Let's see what we're working with here in terms of engine. Right here it says TDI, so this is going to be that VR6 3-liter TDI engine, that turbo diesel. And see, yep, we got the, well, it is a T2, so you have an upgraded screen. This one looks way better than the T1 screen. You can see the wide screen for the info and the gauges as well. This one is going to be a black leather interior with the walnut wood, it looks like. No air suspension here. This is going to be a V6 TDI, so no air suspension, no lockers, nothing like that, but it does have nav, which is good. So it's going to be a more luxury package car. Hold on, let me see what, this might actually be a Lux package. It doesn't say, but I do believe this is actually a Lux package because it has this front fascia. So this is going to be one of the rare Lux V6, sorry, goodness gracious. This is going to be one of those rare Lux V6 TDI cars. These ones are probably going to be one of the more desirable versions of the car simply because you have an R-line car, but it's going to be V6 TDI, so it's going to be somewhat efficient, and you're going to have those gobs low-end torque as well. So this one is something I'd look at if I were to look at one, even though a lot of people say the T2, you know, it's not the same as the T1, but I do think that this one is a viable option. In terms of something that's a little bit more reliable than the rest in terms of what you're getting versus reliability. So they're all pretty unreliable, but at least with this one, you get a nice V6 TDI with better gas mileage and all that low-end torque. And it being a 2010, you also have the R-Line Lux package with the outside body kit as well. So it looks nice. I think this is a really good package to get. 11.5 is what they're asking, as 132,000 miles. You see what I'm talking about? They know what they have. This is a highly desirable spec of the car. But for me, I couldn't pay 11.6 for something with 132,000 miles, even though it's a last model year. For me, I'd be willing to go maybe up to 10.5 for this. You know, we're not too far off. We could probably make a deal. So yeah, 10.5 for me. Cool. Moving on to Autotrader, the next place we look at ads. We have a 2005. This one is going to be a V8 model. We can see it is in white, but it's 2005. So one of the first model years. This one is very clean. Look how clean these headlights could be compared to that V10 we looked at earlier. This one right here. This one right here. Look how bad the lights can get. This one is crystal clear. This is how they should look. One other thing that you'll find interesting on these cars, this fender line and headlight looks so similar to a Veyron. Let me show you. Like, especially the old Veyron, the original Veyron light. Look at this light, and then look at this light. Pretty much the exact same. I know the Veyron light is going to be a little bit narrower and probably a little bit wider, but same basic design language. The Touareg came out before the Veyron, so basically the Touareg inspired the Bugatti Veyron. Extrapolating that, yep, you can see basically the same hood line as the Touareg. Anyway, let's keep scrolling through here. What we got in terms of the interior. Interior is very nice. I love this teak leather interior. It just looks so good. It's like orange brown color. You can see this one has air as well as the locks. So at least a 4. It doesn't have nav though, unfortunately. This is a 2005. Actually, let's read what trim package this actually was. So it was a V8. It has the locks and everything, but it doesn't have nav. Package 2. So includes package 2. Includes package 3. Includes package 4. I don't know, man. No, the Touareg didn't inspire the Veyron. That's not a fact. I'm just saying the way it's styled is using the same design language, and the Touareg came out before the Veyron. So I just made that up, saying that the Touareg inspired the Veyron. But you can see that the headlights are similar, and the way the hood comes around the headlights is also very similar. Yeah. Anyway, scrolling through here, we can see, does it have memory on this side? It does have memory, and this is the passenger side. So it has a passenger side memory as well. So what is that? Sorry, I'm reading the trim sheet over here. Passenger side memory. Okay. Oh, that comes with package 1. So basically for the V8's passenger side memory is standard. Anyway, this one has far zone climate control. Does it have that? Does it show the rear seats? Of course not. Are you selling a trailer too? The trailer come with it? That's pretty dope, actually. Do we have the climate control? I don't see 4-zone climate control here, so we definitely not package 5. Definitely not a package 4 either. Oh no, we have the locks. Yeah, so I guess it's a package 4, but there's no nav, which is interesting. So I don't know what that means. That's the thing about these stupid trim packages. Like, they say one thing, but then you see different examples in real life. So you really just gonna have to go car by car with one of these. And another thing is, there's not really that many for sale. There's probably like 30 for sale on Autotrader. That is insane. 30. That there's more Lamborghinis for sale than Touaregs. Lamborghini Gallardos for sale than Touaregs. So you're gonna have to look at each one case by case, analyze the condition, analyze the options of trim, see what you're working with, and make your best decision. Yep, it's still a VW, right? Exactly. This one they're asking 10.5. It's a 2005, but it is in really good condition. Let me look at that the center console again. You can see the sticky button issue is starting to show itself right here. Looking a little sticky. But, sorry, excuse me, not too bad. Engine bay could use some love, but again, it's just an engine bay. 10.5 is way too expensive for 142,000 miles, though. I say for me, I mean, does it come with the trailer? The car may. come with the trailer. What does that mean? May come with the trailer. I don't know, but it may come with the trailer. So with the trailer, man, I mean that significantly bumps up the price. That trailer's worth at least like $2 or $3 grand. So for me, total, I'll be willing to go up to $9,000 for this package deal, and I think that would be a really good deal. You have a really nice spec Touareg. It has air suspension, it has the lockers, it has a really nice interior color. White on teak is always going to be a cool color combo, white on brown, white on orange. And then you also have a trailer as well. Can't go wrong for $9,500 or $9,000 for this example. Cool. Moving on to our next one, we have a 2008. This is going to be a T2 3.6 liter FSI car. Scrolling through, we can see the interior is going to be that beige interior. I like the beige. This is what Ahmed has. He has the beige with the, well, when you get a beige interior, it actually comes two-tone. It comes with a dark brown, like a chocolate, and a beige, and the wheel is in that chocolate as well. Looks really cool. What else can we see here? I mean, it is a V6, so no air suspension, no lockers, nothing special like that. We don't even have the memory on the seats, so this isn't even like doesn't have that many options at all. You don't have the nav either, so pretty much base. 117,000 miles for this base 2006 V6 Touareg, and they want almost 10 grand for it. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. 10 grand for this one is a little bit too much. It has 117,000 miles and it's base. I get it, it's a 2008, so it's gonna, you know, it's a T2. It's gonna be a little bit more desirable than a T1 to the regular everyday consumer. Let's take a look at the inside again. Yeah, it's beige, not really anything to look at here. I'd say for having 117,000 miles, I'd be willing to go up to $6,900. I think 69 is cool. 117 is a little bit high. 69 might be a little high, but 69 it is. Cool. All right, let's move on to our next ad. Let's see, 2008, we have another T2. This one, again, is in white, but it looks like it's in really good condition. 119,000 miles. Same mileage as this last example. However, this one looks like it's brand new pretty much. We can see this one is a V8 as well. 4.2 liter V8. Very, very desirable. Black interior. Very clean too for 119,000 miles. See, this one looks like Ahmed's in terms of the condition. Very clean. Can't go wrong with something like this. No rear climate control. You don't have air suspension. You don't have the lockers either. So pretty much a base level V8 car with the nav. This is exactly how Ahmed's is spec. So I can fully get behind a car like this. You don't really need the air suspension, the lockers. Off-road does fine without that stuff. So yeah, I mean, for this one, it looks pretty clean for what it is. Has the rear sunshades as well. See the nav screen here. Trunk looks clean. Spares there as well. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. $9,500 are asking 119,000 miles. This is one of the cleanest 120,000 mile vehicles I've seen so far. So this would be something I highly recommend if you're looking at a Generation 1 Touareg with the V8. You get a T2, so a little bit more modern than T1, but you still get that V8. Let's see what he has to say. Ultra clean, pampered, and garaged. He is not lying. This is one of the cleanest ones we've seen so far. All maintenance based on time or mileage, whichever came first. Intake valves and ports were decarbonized at 110k miles. New OEM front struts, OEM 19-inch wheels, and 2 sets of OEM floor mats are included in the sale. Last photo shows the cars on 19s have upgraded to another vehicle. Let's see. Look, what the last photo look like? Okay, I didn't really see it. There wasn't much to look at there. Like the last photos on 19s, I can't tell. Anyway, this one they're asking $9,500, and it's one of the cleanest ones we've seen so far. I'd say for this one being a really clean T2 V8 with a white on black color combo, I'd be willing to go up to $8,000 for this one. I think 8,000. What did I say for this one? 69. Yeah, I think this one is worth 8,000. Simply because it is in such nice condition. You probably could go even higher than that depending on the mileage, not mileage, depending on the maintenance history. But yeah, I wouldn't really go above 85, but 8 to 8,500 would be a really good deal for something like this. It is really clean. Moving on to our next example, this is a 2009. This one is going to be a TDI car. You can see it is white. Let's move on to the interior. It has that beige and chocolate two-tone interior. He said ship it over to Europe. Yeah, man, I didn't realize how much are they in Europe. Do you know how much they are, Jacob? Let me know, because yeah, they are cheap here. These are all junk over here. No rear climate control. You have the nav screen, but we don't have air suspension or lockers. I mean, obviously it's VR6. I mean, it's a V6 turbo diesel. But I mean, it's a clean car. I will give it that. You have some stainage, but again, there are no mats here. So, you know, of course there's going to be stains when there's no mats. Underneath, the engine bay looks clean. Nothing really too wrong here. 140,000 miles though, that's a lot, especially for 12 grand. I don't know what they are talking about here. 12 grand is not it for something like this. 140,000 miles. I know it's a TDI, but that doesn't mean anything. This was definitely part of the Dieselgate phenomenon, crisis. I don't know what you want to call it. Scam. So there should be a discount just based on that already. I say for me, having 140,000 miles and this being a 2009 TDI, I'll be willing to go up to $8,500. I think those are going to be worth a little bit more. They're TDIs in America, they're worth a little bit more. But yeah, there's $8,500 for. Actually, no. For this one being a 2009 TDI with 140,000 miles and asking 12,000, I'll be willing to go up to $8,000. Yeah, Dieselgate, exactly. These are all victims of Dieselgate, so I don't know. I mean, it's at a dealership, so it must have been fixed already, so it's not even going to be as efficient as they were advertised. So you're probably not even going to get these numbers, and you're not probably not going to make as much power either. Yeah, TDI is reliable. Yeah, that's why they do carry a little bit of a higher price tag, especially in America. So, but 8 grand, that's 140,000 miles. I'd be at 8 grand. I don't know why there's like, this is probably should be asking like around 10 grand. I don't know why they're asking 12 grand. Moving on to our last example on Autotrader, we have a 2007. So it's going to be a T1 turbo diesel V10. So last V10 we looked at was going to be a T2. This one is a T1. We can see it also has a wheel hanging out back. Fun fact, these cars actually did come with a 5th wheel option, but this is not it. This attaches, this is just an aftermarket thing. You can see the other one had a swing arm that was attached to the side. Looked pretty cool. This one also you can see is lifted. It's on these 5-spoke wheels with some big off-road tires. We have a beige on beige V10. Very interesting spec here. You can see that the I don't know what they're trying to show here, but it looks like the upper control arm, these needs to be replaced at some point. These bushing, I don't know what these are called. Bushings? I guess, yeah, bushings. I'm having a brain fart right now. Upper control arms don't look good. This is splitting right here. Let's see the interior. You can see you don't even have dual zone climate control in this one. Wow, I'm surprised they didn't fully option this thing. But again, whatever. It's still a V10 TDI. I'm trying to see this part. We can see here, it has the air suspension. Does it have the lockers? Does it show? Yep, we can see the lockers here as well as nav, air suspension, lockers. Again, it is a V10 TDI, so it's going to have pretty much as you can get. It had its whole engine out job. Crazy. See how much work goes into these vehicles. Engine replace. Oh, wow. Supply the turbochargers. Wow, they did a whole engine replacement. All right, let's see what he has to say. This rig has undergone some serious maintenance. See previous receipts or see service receipts. All the typical problem areas: turbos, exhaust manifolds, cams, tandem pump, fuel pumps, DPF, O2 sensors have all been replaced with new OEM parts. I've replaced a bunch of other miscellaneous bits and trim pieces in pursuit of making this the most complete and clean Touareg that I possibly could. Updates: price lowered due to new required maintenance. The vehicle. So basically, this car has been for sale for a minute. Driving the vehicle, mileage has increased since November. Air suspension, control arms have been replaced with all new hardware. One flaw is that the drivers, ball joints. Ball joints. That's what I was brain farting, blanking on. Ball joints is what that is called. The air suspension system is fully functional and the vehicle rides like a dream. Upgrades include some BF Goodrich KO2s, Eurowise roof rack, Eurowise 2-inch lift, and a rigid spare tire awning not included. It is equipped with a view review camera. It's not calibrated since I acquired the vehicle with an aftermarket head unit. I sourced an OEM unit, which is now installed. So this guy cares about his vehicle a lot. 15 grand is what he's asking. It is a V10 TDI, so he has the right to ask anywhere in the teens, really. This one has 187,000 miles, and he wants 15 grand for it. Not too far off given the extensive maintenance he's done on this car. I'd say for me, you know, it's a V10 TDI with 100 and I'd say for me, because it's a V10 TDI with 190,000 miles, I'd be willing to probably go up to $13,000 simply because he has had all this work done to it, and it's you know, it's a clean build. Cool. Moving on to the last place we look at ads. We're almost done here. We have a 2004 Touareg V8. We can see off the bat. Well, I don't even know why I picked this one, honestly. Slap for me. This one has one picture. I thought it had more, but it's $4,032. Just a weird price to ask for one of these. Has 146,000 miles, but just looking at this, judging off the exterior, you can tell this is a hoopty right here. This is complete junk. And yeah, for me, I'd be willing to go up to $2,000 for this example. Moving on to our next example, we have a 2008. The V10 TDI is, I wouldn't say it's reliable, simply because it takes an engine out job to fix most of the stuff. But I mean, probably in terms of performance and performance reliability, like in terms of the way it performs, and you know, the instances and the schedule in which things break, I don't think it's going to break that often. It just is really expensive to fix when it does break. 2008. So here we have a 2008. This is going to be a Touareg 2 VR6 in a charcoal color. Let's take a look. See what we got going on here. Interior, I mean, this is a VR6, so you're not going to have the air suspension. You're not going to have the lockers. You're not even going to have nav. This is pretty base spec already, just looking at this vehicle. We can see, are these seat covers on the seats? What is going on here? Yep, it is a seat cover. The seats are cracking bad. I don't believe this is the Napa. I think this is a T2, so yeah, this might be that VTEX fake leather stuff. Really not a fan. You really want to get real leather on these cars. Don't get fake leather, because this is what will happen. It'll start to crack. But other than that, very base example car. 102,000 miles. They're asking 102,000 miles, and they're asking $7,600 for it. That's actually not bad at all. That's probably pretty close. Granted, it is a 2008 and it is in really rough condition, and because of that, I'd be willing to go up to $5,900. I don't do seat tears. I hate seat tears, so unless you're willing to fix that seat tear, $5,900. Cool. Moving on to our next example. This one's going to be a 2005. So one of the first model years, second model year actually. Let's see what engine it has. This one has the V8. You can see that as well. We have the full color instrument panel screen in between the gauges that only comes on the V8. And another slap for me, because this has no interior pictures. Wow, I don't even know what I'm doing here. $9,000 they're asking, 124,000 miles. This is way too much. This is T2 prices. This is a T1 with no interior pictures and no maintenance history. So because of that, I'd be willing to go up to $6,000. 6,000. That's it. That's all you're gonna get out of me for this one. Moving on to our second to last ad on Cargurus, we have a black example. This is going to be a 2004. I did not order these years at all, so we can see this one. 2004, pretty clean though. The headlights could use a little buffing, but they don't look too bad. Let's see, scrolling down, looking at interior, we do have the air suspension, we do have the lockers, and we also have the nav screen. See, yep, you can see all that down here. This one has the black interior too. It's looking a little rough, not the best looking black interior, but I mean, it's not, it doesn't show any tears or anything like that. How much are they asking? $7,800 for this one. Has 85,000 miles. This is a first model year for the United States in terms of the Touareg. So, you know, I really wouldn't recommend getting a first model year. However, if you were going to get a good deal, you can get the good deals on the first model years. I'm not going to lie and say you can't. This one is probably going to be one of them. 85,000 miles, so not even 100,000 miles. They're only asking $7,800. I'd say for this one, they're not too far off. In fact, they're pretty close for, you know, retail. I'd say for me though, having 85,000 miles and being this cheap, I'm just preparing myself mentally for the problems to come, and I will be willing to go up to $7,000. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be willing to go up to $6,000. Sorry about that. It's a 2004, so can't really pay too much for it. It's gonna have the most amount of problems. And then finally, we have our last ad on Cargurus. This is gonna be a 2006 V. This is gonna be a 2010 V6 model. Excuse me. I've been awake since like 4:30 this morning. I'm kind of tired. Anyway. We can't ship it now, Jacob. Our port is blocked. Didn't you just see that? Our port is no longer. this is where all the cars go in and out of Baltimore on the East Coast. And yeah, we can't ship cars anymore to Europe. We're going to be out of commission for at least a couple months. I don't know how long it takes to build a bridge, but I know they can't do this in the next couple weeks. So yeah, we can't ship. No Touaregs for you for the near future, man. No American Touaregs for you because they are still, they're going to be stuck here for a while. Anyway, moving back on to the ads. Where did the ads go? Oh, I was had it the whole time. I'm tripping. Back to this one. So we have a 2010. This is going to be a gas V6 model. Yep, you can see I see the blue glass here, so I might be wrong about the blue glass thing, but it does look really cool. When you see it in person, like, it looks really nice. Here, scrolling down, no nav, nothing here, no air suspension, no lockers. One thing I do like about the T2 is that they have this screen up top. I think it looks really cool when compared to the T1. But other than that, not really much going on with this car. It is a gray on black T2 V6 with 50,000 miles, and they want 12 grand for it. That is a little bit high, but it's not too far off. 50,000 miles is pretty low for one of these. So I'd say for me, 50,000 miles, I'd be willing to go up to 10 grand. I think 10 grand would be really good for a 50,000 mile version of this car. And yeah, you'll be able to get a lot more than, you know, another 50 out of it. Simply because these are pretty good. It all depends. Like, once you hit 100,000 miles, that's when things start to go wrong. So yeah, keep that in mind. You don't want to pay too much. 12.5 is definitely too much. You want to save that 2,500 bucks to put it in repairs. Even though this is a last model year V6 gas car, so it's not going to have as much issues as, say, a T1 V8. You just want to always be prepared with these things. You'll have random electrical stuff. Yeah, that's kind of a big thing with these cars, is the random electrical stuff. Cool. That wraps up the ad section of this. I'd say for me, I'd recommend getting a, I'd recommend getting a T2. Like, T2 V8s are going to be really good cars. They're going to be pretty much as capable as the T1s, and you're really going to have the nicer quality. It's not going to be too much nicer. They're pretty much the same cars, just a little bit of facelift here and there. But I'm always a proponent of getting a facelifted version of the car, so get it as 2008 or above. Just be careful, because the 2008s, the T2s are going to be a little bit more expensive, or like almost probably double the prices of the T1s. So if you have the budget for that, then you can afford a T2. But T1s are always good too. I say getting a 2006 and up, so 2006, 2007, and getting, 2008 to 2010. Stay above 2006, 2005, 2004s are going to be kind of the older ones in terms of, just 2006 basically is when they had the 3.2 liter instead of the 3.6 liter. So I suggest that whole generation just not really looking at those. 2004, 2005, don't get those. 2006 plus. So the 3.6 liter came out like halfway through 2006 for the 2007 model year, but you do see some 2007s with the 3.2 liter. So just keep that in mind. 2007 might and might not have the 3.2 liter if you're getting a V6 or VR6 car. Diesel, or Jacob says the diesel is more convenient. It may be more convenient in Europe, but you'd be surprised. Here in America, the diesel cars actually are a little bit less convenient. Diesel costs a lot more than gas here, which wasn't always the case. That was more like within the last 10 years. Diesel used to be a lot cheaper than gas. And then also, there's really strict regulations with diesel cars, especially with these Dieselgate cars. Basically, I mean, depends on the state, California specifically, but if you're caught in California with a deleted car, or like if you have delete any of the EGR or the any systems that do with the emissions for diesel vehicles, that is actually a big no-no, and it is illegal. So you will be fined, and they probably will take your car. So yeah, diesels, they do get better gas mileage, so that's a big reason why people in America get them, because they are more efficient than gas cars. But just keep in mind, they're harder to repair, and there are lots of rules and regulations with diesel cars in the United States. So they're really cracking down on it. It was like literally in the past like year or so, they're really cracking down on all the diesel tuning shops. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get a diesel, the V6 TDI is definitely the way to go. If you even find a V10 TDI, they're going to be way more expensive. They're truly an enthusiast vehicle. They're not for like a regular everyday get around car. That is going to be for some serious performance, if what you need, because you're going to be paying premium prices to keep that on the road. So it might as well be like, it's not going to be a daily car is what I'm trying to say. So if you find a V10 TDI that you like, I wouldn't recommend not getting it. I think they're very special cars, but just keep in mind that finding someone to service it, finding the parts, it's going to be super, super difficult. But overall, I think the best engine to get for this car is going to be the 4.2 liter V8. It's very smooth. It's a buttery smooth engine. It has a timing belt, not a timing chain. So it's going to be, that adds to the smoothness, but also adds to the unreliability because timing belts have to be replaced. But yeah, the 4.2 V8 is a really good, smooth power plant. It's not going to get the best gas mileage, obviously. The 3.0 diesel is going to definitely be the best economical way to go about this car in terms of gas mileage and running costs. Cool. Not too many viewers today. That's fine. That's what I expected. I mean, to be honest, I was kind of bored. Like I was anticipating the boredomness of this vehicle, but again, we're going to do all the vehicles we can. This is a car channel. We don't discriminate here. All cars get a fair shake on the channel. But that pretty much wraps it up for today. I have a headache, man. It's been a long day. And yeah, I'm gonna head out pretty soon. Hey, appreciate you, Jacob Black, man. You show up every day. Hopefully one day, you know, you'll come over to America, or maybe I'll go over there to Austria and we can actually meet in person. Because yeah, you've been really supportive on this journey of mine. So yeah, I appreciate you, man. I got you written down too for your extra slot in the raffle. Same thing with Claro. If you haven't entered in to win the raffle already, all you got to do is join my Discord. Hit that in the bio. Yeah, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, comment if you haven't, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Let's see, what car am I doing tomorrow? Let's see, what did I do with my schedule? Oh yeah, here we go. So tomorrow, we're going to be going over the F Series X5M. I forget exactly what number. F. Yep, so we're going to be going over the F85 X5M. We did the E Series X6M before, but I kind of want to move on to the next generation just to show you guys the technology and the features and the packages for the F Series SUVs. We kind of milked the E Series cars and SUVs already, so we're going to start. We kind of milked the F Series as well, to be honest, but we're going to do the SUVs. Yeah, S63 TU engine. This car is so good in terms of just the bang for your buck. So we'll go over all that tomorrow. That wraps it up for today. It's been a long day. Thank you guys for sticking to the end. I appreciate you guys. And as always, peace. Have a good one. I will see you guys tomorrow with the X.